Sources close to the couple have now revealed that, after years of ups and downs, Mendeecees and Yandy have decided to dissolve their marriage, which was once the epitome of reality TV love. However, what exactly led to this historic breakup? After weeks of rumors, we now have first-hand knowledge of the dramatic reasons for their breakup. Did Yandy finally lose it after years of juggling her career and family issues? Or is there something sinister going on? Mendeecees' history with him was one of the reasons. Fans are tense as they attempt to piece together what transpired behind the scenes, as insiders have hinted at shocking revelations that could alter everything. Just when you think you know the entire story, new twists and surprises appear. So stay tuned because this story is far from over, and the reality can be more breathtaking than you ever imagined. The shocking announcement went viral on social media, leaving fans of hip-hop and romance in shock. Mendeecees and Yandy, the pair that everyone thought was unbreakable, were about to split tragically after years of sharing moments in public. Following months of rumors of a divorce, sources close to the couple finally confirmed the shocking news that their marriage had hit an insurmountable wall that fans couldn't comprehend. There had been displays of affection and viewers thought they were the perfect reality TV couple, but now everything was about to fall apart. Yandy's constant juggling act between being a wife, mother, and professional woman seemed so strong on the surface, but behind the scenes, the couple who had endured so much together, including the men's prior legal issues. The emotional distance between them had grown, the cracks in their marriage were starting to show, and it seemed like the burden of their public lives was getting to be too much for them to handle. The first indication that something was wrong was when Yandy posted an odd statement on social media that didn't include the customary family photos or wise words that this time, the message was different from what followers had anticipated. She reported that sometimes you had to go away to preserve yourself. At first glance, it seemed innocuous, but admirers quickly started to wonder if she was talking about men's problems in paradise. Statement sparked a wave of questions and speculation that grew over time. Meanwhile, men stayed silent and didn't post anything on social media, leaving admirers to wonder if he was too hurt to speak up or simply didn't care anymore. Soon after, rumors about their marriage began to circulate, with some sources speculating that Yandy had felt people close to the couple started to suggest that their relationship had been in trouble for months, with arguments becoming more frequent and the love they once shared evaporating the tension between them, while others conjectured that Mendeecees was still dealing with unresolved issues from his past. During their previous appearance on Love and Hip Hop, Mendeecees and Yandy's chemistry seemed forced, and Yandy appeared distant, while Mendeecees appeared anxious, and their formerly vibrant banter started to show slight discrepancies. Has been replaced by uncomfortable silences, causing fans to worry whether this was the start of the end. As the days went by, more information surfaced, revealing that men have been spending more time away from home, most likely to avoid the growing stress in their relationship. It seemed like a minor argument a few months ago, but the other side had been concentrating hard on her career, leaving little time for the intimacy that had existed in their marriage. Was this a normal development for a couple who had experienced so much, or was it the inevitable outcome of years of unresolved issues? Has now become much more serious. Yandy had told her close friends that she was tired of playing the ideal wife, mother, and businesswoman, and that she was tired of carrying the emotional burden of their relationship on her shoulders, while men seemed more distant than her friends had always considered her to be tough. But all of a sudden she showed an unavoidable fragility. It seemed as though the years of trying to keep everything together had finally taken their toll, while Men was coping with his own problems. After years of always being in the spotlight, dealing with the fallout from his prior legal issues, and balancing his jobs as a husband, parent, and reality TV star, he was starting to crumble under the pressure. He had confided in close friends about feeling stuck in a life that was not working for him. He didn't think he could leave. Could it be that the constant attention had strained their relationship? Had their famed lifestyle from reality TV been the reason for their split? In private conversations with their close group mates, Yandy started talking about how their Mendeecees were tired of trying to live up to the public's expectations of what their marriage should look like. They were tired of constantly having to defend their love and commitment to the world, and they no longer wanted to play the supporting wife role who had to smile for the cameras. It became clear that neither of them had the energy to fight any longer, but their emotional problems weren't the only cause of their problems. Outside factors, particularly the ongoing pressure from their respective families, Yandy's family in particular, were making their relationship more strained. Been wary of men, particularly considering his prior legal issues. They were concerned that he wasn't the right man for their daughter, and it seemed that they had been waiting for the right moment to voice their concerns. Mendeecees, on the other hand, were constantly under pressure from his own family to act in his best interests, and their distaste for Yandy only made things worse. As Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship deteriorated, what started out as small arguments turned into full-fledged altercations. Every interaction felt like an effort to keep up a facade of happiness that neither of them could sustain, and communication felt worse. Disturbed by Mendeecees' distance, Yandy started to doubt if he still loved her. In the meantime, he wondered if he had ever actually been able to provide her with the care and attention she needed. But the final straw was when, just days after Yandy's mysterious message, Mendeecees broke his silence. He took to social media with a brief but sincere comment that implied the dissolution of their marriage. The post was forceful but ambiguous, saying, "Sometimes love isn't enough," he wrote. As time went on, rumors about Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship surfaced, and fans flooded the comment section asking for more details, but Mendeecees remained silent, leaving them in suspense. The stress in their relationship had reached new heights, and it was clear that the pair was about to enter the most challenging period of their lives. Increased Mendeecees' amazing tweet excited supporters, but it also opened the door for more rumors and insider information. Everyone was curious to know what had truly happened between the couple. Had they truly reached the point of no return? And close friends and family members were inundated with questions. Nevertheless, it seems that every new detail only deepens the enigma. Yandy's response to Mendeecees' essay was nothing short of remarkable. Men had been vague, but she took a more direct approach. Yandy broke down in tears during a public interview when she talked about the emotional toll her marriage had taken on her. "I gave everything to this relationship," she said, her voice trembling. But somewhere along the line, I lost myself in her words, which stunned me. She talked about the difficulties of balancing her career, parenting, and being strong for Mendeecees, who had often been emotionally and physically absent. Her voice was filled with agony, and viewers could see she was now opening up about the entire extent of her problems. Sensing her suffering in every word, Yandy's sincere admission was a turning point in the public narrative. While some supporters applauded her bravery and tenacity, others couldn't help but wonder if Mendeecees was really the bad guy in this situation, or if there was more to the story that the public hadn't yet seen. Insiders close to Mendeecees started to speak out as well, offering insight into his side of the tale. One insider claimed that men had been at odds for months, and that he's not a nasty guy. Rather, he's just. Mendeecees' experience, which included court battles and time away from his family, had taken a toll on him as he tried to come to terms with who he was. Yandy might not have fully grasped that his problems were genuine because their marriage had always been a Mendeecees had been incarcerated for a number of years, leaving Yandy to raise their kids alone. During that time, she became a well-known businesswoman. When Mendeecees returned home, he found himself trying to catch up on a life that had passed him by, but Yandy had changed. She was no longer just a loving wife and mother. She was now a strong, independent woman who had learned to live without means at her side. However, just as she had matured, so had Means, who upon returning home from prison realized he had to adjust to a new reality in which he was no longer the focus of attention. The once intimate connection between them had started to deteriorate, leading to months of increasing distance. As the tension increased, Yandy started to question whether this relationship was worth preserving, or if it was worthwhile to try to mend something that had fallen apart due to their past. She had spent her entire life helping Mendes, but now she felt as though she was losing herself in the process. Mendeecees, on the other hand, started to question whether he was holding on to a marriage that had already passed him by. Had they simply outgrown one another? Would they ever be able to return to their previous state of affairs? Or was this the public's response to the inevitable end of a relationship based on love and survival was as divided as the couple's feelings? Some fans took to social media and crowded the comment section with messages of support for Yandy, saying, "You deserve better." Another fan said others supported Men's claim that he had endured enough in life and deserved another chance, saying that he made mistakes but was trying again. "So much and you're so strong, do not let him pull you down." An admirer stated, "People forget how hard it is to recover from what he has been through." He's not the villain, but as the narrative went on, another unexpected twist appeared. Just when everyone thought the couple had reached their lowest point, the BBC made a startling move. Claimed to have surreptitiously gotten in touch with Yandy and asked if they could have one last conversation without cameras or prying eyes. It was a little request, but it left viewers wondering if there was still hope for the relationship. Could this be their last attempt to patch up their marriage? It was just too little, too late. According to an informant, Mendeecees and Yandy had a heated conversation during which they both grieved, letting go of the rage and pain they had been suppressing for so long. Ment also expressed regret for his actions after recognizing how he had failed. However, Yandy disclosed that she had neglected their relationship for a long time because she was so preoccupied with growing her career and raising their kids. For the first time in a long time, they were able to have an open discussion without the interruptions of their public lives or the stress of reality television. But even with the emotional breakthrough, it was still unclear if this conversation would be enough to save their marriage. The fact was that Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship had been tested by a number of things, such as external pressures, personal struggles, and the harsh public scrutiny. Could they actually repair the harm that has been done? This moment of candor was simply a glimmer of hope before the final conclusion, and fans were eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this awful tale with Mendeecees. And with every new revelation, the stakes increased and the drama intensified as the passionate conversations between Mendeecees and Yandy reverberated in the background, prompting their friends and family to react. Will Yandy be able to salvage their marriage, or will they end up being just another depressing love story on reality TV? Close family members appear to be torn between fostering Yandy's need for self-improvement and addressing DC's need for atonement, which fanned the flames. The couple's kids, who had witnessed the highs and lows of their parents' love, were reportedly baffled, saying, "They've never seen they always saw us as a team, but now they just see us hurting one another," Yandy told a friend bluntly. It was obvious that the toll of this relationship was not just on the couple, but also on those around them. Mendeecees, who had spent months hiding his inner turmoil behind a facade of strength, was struggling to maintain his composure. He had always enjoyed being a provider and protector, but the shortcomings in his own life were becoming more and more apparent. Cannot continue to act as like nothing is wrong. Menf told his close friends, Yandy and I are both in pain, but I'm not sure what it is. We both need something. For the first time in years, his candor shocked even those closest to him by admitting that he had no idea what the future of his marriage held. But one thing was for sure, their love seemed to be waning, and no amount of assurances or apologies seemed to be enough to stop it. I gave up so much of myself for him, said Sandy to her sister, but now I wonder if I ever knew who I was without him. Sandy was also struggling with her own problems. She had maintained a strong front for a long time, but the cracks were starting to show. Can I ever be happy again, or am I just holding on to something that is no longer there? Yandy's internal conflict was clearly about more than only Mendeecees. It was also about her personal. She had been the wife, mother, and support system for a long time. But she now questioned whether she would ever be able to return to just being Yandy. The situation worsened as friends and family on both sides offered unwelcome advice, including those of Yandy's friends who had always praised her independence and perseverance and urged her to leave Mendeecees. A close friend told her that she had done enough for him and that it was time to put herself first, but other friends recognized her resilience. Love is complicated, as one friend explained. Sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom to realize what you truly have. Yandy was convinced to give Mendeecees another chance because of the couple's love. While Yandy was being pushed in many directions by people closest to her Mendeecees family, was also trying to figure out what had occurred. Kirk Frost, a long-standing family friend, has always been an outspoken supporter of both Mendeecees and Yandy. They were supposed to be the ideal pair. Kirk remarked in an interview, I never thought they'd be close to divorcing. But life doesn't often go as planned, and Kirk's comments echoed the sentiments of many who had admired the duo as an example of fortitude and tenacity. It seemed as though they were disintegrating, and that no one knew how to fix it. Mendeecees and Yandy seemed to retreat into their separate worlds. But as time went on, Mendeecees started concentrating on his work and taking on new projects that kept him busy. Preoccupied, but his career success was unable to fill the void in his personal life, so he spent more time away from home concentrating on his business. However, the loneliness he experienced at night was evident. He told a close friend, I feel like I'm living two different lives. One where everything is perfect, and another where I'm drowning in regret and sadness. I don't know how long I can continue this. On the other hand, Yandy dedicated herself to her business endeavors and charitable endeavors, going to more events and appearing in public while maintaining a picture-perfect image for her fans, but those closest to her. She was aware of the fact that, despite being a queen, she is broken. Despite her strong front, a pal told reporters, you can see the breaches in her armor. It's just as she will eventually have to face what's inside of her. As individuals close to the couple reveal shocking new information, the situation worsens. Yandy's close pal claimed that she and Mendeecees had in the weeks before the public breakdown, there were a number of heated arguments. Yandy repeatedly told Mendeecees that she could no longer continue doing this, but he continued to dismiss it. A friend clarified that he didn't seem to take her seriously until it was too late. It was said that a communication breakdown was one of the main factors in. Their marriages had fallen apart because of DC's inability to understand Yandy's emotional needs and his own personal problems. This led to a rift that nobody had expected, but the most shocking revelation came from an insider who said they had overheard a private conversation between Yandy and Mendeecees. Mendeecees replied, I feel like we've lost touch, and I'm not sure if I can love you the way I used to, according to source Yandy. Menhe was deeply moved by such comments, claimed to have quietly left the discussion knowing that it was coming to an end, but the question still remained. Could they ever mend what had been harmed, or was their relationship really over? Fans were left in shock as they took in the new details. Was this the last chapter in Men's and Yandy's love story? Time would tell if there was still hope for their marriage, but the drama wasn't over yet. As the story went on, the tension between Mendeecees and Yandy escalated to previously unheard-of levels, and their friends and family were forced to acknowledge the seriousness of the situation. Whispers of betrayal and silent hostility and broken promises circulated among their networks. The couple's once solid bond seemed irreparably broken, and the likelihood of a reunion dwindled daily. Nevertheless, many people thought that love could triumph over all challenges. But things took a sharp turn when she didn't want to give up on Mendeecees, the source close to Yandy said. But she knew that things needed to change, and that she couldn't keep living this way while pretending everything was well. As a final resort, she sought marriage therapy. For the first time in years, Yandy, who had always been known for her strength and independence, acknowledged that she needed help. She questioned everything, including her marriage, her role in the family, and even her own happiness. I adore Mendeecees, but I'm not sure whether I can love them. According to sources, Mendeecees was less receptive to the idea of treatment and was reluctant to face the facts of their deteriorating marriage. He didn't think anything was wrong, a family member claimed. Yandy told her therapist this during one of their sessions. Mendeecees was usually a man of action, preferring to handle problems with his hands rather than his emotions. But this time there was no easy solution because Yandy had already checked out emotionally when he realized how bad things had gone. Damage had been done, and it was now up to them both to determine whether or not to work to mend their broken relationship. As the couple's private life became more widely known, the media's fervor over their upcoming divorce grew, with headlines yelling about their suspected. The drama surrounding DC and Yandy's divorce is more dramatic than any reality TV plot, with men engaging in adultery, covert confrontations, and emotional breakdowns. One tabloid headline read, "Fans are stunned by the surprising details disclosed about their connection." On social media, fans, celebrities, and complete strangers all seem to have an opinion on the couple's predicament. "They've always been our #relationship goals," one admirer wrote on Twitter, adding that it's terrible to watch them go through this. However, although the public's reaction was varied, those closest to the couple had their own perspectives on what was going on behind the scenes. Yandy's sister, who had been mostly calm during the turmoil, eventually stepped up, stating that she thought the pair had become too distant to restore their marriage. There comes in an interview. She said, "I've seen how they've treated each other, and it's as if they can't recognize each other anymore. It's heartbreaking, but I don't think there's anything left to save. There comes a time when love just isn't enough anymore." Kirk Frost, Mendeecees' long-standing mentor and confidant, was said to be worried about the effect this was having on his friend at the same time as Mendeecees' family was struggling with the news of their likely divorce. "I've never seen men like this. He has always been the strong one, but I can see the agony in his eyes today. It's as if he's lost the thing that was most important to him," Kirk said to the close friend. Even Kirk, who had consistently been a strong advocate for men's and Yandy's romance, acknowledged that there wasn't much possibility for the pair to succeed. "Sometimes love just isn't enough," Kirk stated solemnly. As the divorce process continued, it became evident that Mendeecees and Yandy had a number of unresolved relationship issues. Any chance of reunion seemed to be overshadowed by financial worries, fights about their kids, and lingering feelings of betrayal. The DCs were reportedly adamant about maintaining full custody of their kids, while Yandy was committed to keeping a significant role in they both want to win a legal source for their joint projects and commercial interests. But now they're fighting for what was once a glorious existence. It's like watching a ship sink, and nobody wants to throw out the lifeline. During the turmoil, Yandy and Mendeecees kept their public identities while trying to give the impression that they are strong, even though their personal lives are falling apart. Yandy continued her charitable work and went to high-profile events, but people who knew her well knew that the stress of her marriage's breakdown was getting to her. Manx, on the other hand, retreated even further away from the public eye and focused on his career, using it as a means of diverting his attention from the suffering he was going through. But she was now struggling to hold things together for her family. There was a noticeable sadness in his eyes, even when he was at his best. "He's not the same," one of his close friends said. "He's lost something, maybe even himself, and I don't know if he'll ever locate it again." As the days passed, rumors about their divorce continued to circulate, with some fans assuming Mendeecees, and "it's a shaming," a fan observed. They were ideal for one another, but now they feel like strangers living in the same house. Yandy was playing a game where they claimed to be at odds to gain attention from others, but some thought the couple's marriage was genuinely over. The public was left to speculate as the couple's divorce became more certain. Will they ever be able to get back together? Or is this the end of their relationship? Only time would tell, but the drama between Mendeecees and Yandy was far from over. As the divorce drama dragged on, fans waited impatiently for the next shocking twist in the tale of one of reality TV's most famous couples. As Mendeecees and Yandy tried to deal with their failings, the situation seemed to be reaching a breaking point. As new accusations surfaced and rumors of past secrets, betrayals, and even suspected infidelity started to circulate through the media, the drama surrounding their breakup took an unexpected turn. These new developments were even more shocking than what supporters had previously experienced, and they simply poured fuel to the already burning fires. It all started when Yandy's close friend, who had previously remained mute, revealed some startling claims. According to this source, Yandy discovered some unspoken facts about men that completely surprised her. The friend told her things she never thought were possible, and she was shocked to learn that men had kept so many secrets from her. Once those truths were out, there was no turning back, leaving fans wondering what these shocking revelations might be. Believed it was connected to Mendeecees' past relationships, while others thought it was something darker. In any case, the situation was becoming increasingly jumbled and chaotic, and Yandy, who was once known for her poise and elegance, was now publicly addressing emotions she had kept hidden for years later. It seems that Nand was also coping with the fallout. A family source clarified that he was attempting to keep his composure, but the burden of everything was simply too much for him to handle. He truly liked Yandy, but now his Mendeecees had always been a man who took pride in his reputation, and the idea of his private life being made public was too much for him. He struggled to maintain his composure as the media continued to destroy his marriage, with each new headline slicing deeper than the last. The possibility that men had an affair was one of the most inflammatory accusations to come out of the controversy. Rumors had been circulating for months, but it suddenly seemed as though they might be true when an unidentified individual allegedly came forward with proof of Mendeecees' adultery. During his marriage to the individual who told Yandy that he had a fling revealed that it was ongoing, and that Yandy didn't find out until much later. This news shocked both of their fan circles, and many began to wonder if the couple's marriage was doomed. Naturally, at first, the fact that she had always trusted Mendeecees saddened Yandy, and the idea that he had been concealing such a serious crime from her made she felt ashamed of him for doing this to me in addition to feeling deceived. According to reports, in a private conversation with friends, How could he have done this to our family? The agony was evident in her voice, and admirers witnessed a previously undiscovered aspect of Yandy. Feeling vulnerable, upset, and doubting the basis of her life with Mendeecees. But Mendeecees' account of events was so terrible that he didn't intend for them to proceed in this manner. One of his closest confidants acknowledged that he made mistakes, but he was trying to improve himself and didn't want to hurt Yandy, but the stress of everything got to him. And now he has departed to gather the fragments of his shattered life. Means who had before openly discussed his struggles and was currently dealing with the fallout from his actions. His public persona had been formed by his journey to salvation, but the last straw had ruined that vision. Occurred when, according to those close to the couple, Yandy and the other person got into an argument at their home. Asked Mendeecees for an explanation of the affair while sobbing and pleading with him to be honest with her. It was one of the most emotional times Yandy had ever had, and her buddy said that she wanted to know every detail. Though heartbroken, Mendy seemed to have admitted to the affair because she could no longer stand the lies. When supporters of the couple learned that their marriage could no longer be saved, it became clear. Were left speechless, while numerous others conveyed surprise and confusion that they couldn't reconcile the awful truth of their position. This isn't the Mendeecees, with their prior admiration for the pair. One supporter of Yandy, whom we saw on television, stated, "Those were supposed to be our aims." As with all celebrity relationships, they are currently disintegrating, and the couple's family is no exception. Also experienced the fallout after Mendeecees' mother, who had always been a significant part of his upbringing, was accused to be horrified by the findings and find it hard to comprehend what was occurring. A family member revealed that she had always backed their union, but she was now reevaluating everything regarding Yandy's family. Was also disturbed by the news, with her mother and sister reportedly urging her to put her own needs first. Well-being, Yandy doesn't deserve this life. According to one family, she is also powerful to have someone who doesn't respect her pull her down. As events transpired, the couple's supporters were divided between Yandy and males. One fan said, "We just want them to be happy, yet it's clear that they have both endured a great deal, perhaps for the benefit of others, but were furious and disheartened, with a number of them believing that men had deceived them." One fan remarked, "I can't support someone who hurt Yandy, and that's unforgivable. Who treats their wife that way?" After the divorce was finalized, Yandy's future and the emotional toll on both men seemed unsure if they would ever be reunited, or if this was the end of their journey together. Would tell, but their marriage's drama was far from over because the media kept reporting on the what an emotional roller coaster. Story viewers questioned how much longer this couple could continue before they broke up. The conflict between Yandy and Mendeecees has undoubtedly taken everyone by surprise. However, we would like to know if you think their marriage is irreparable or if there is still chance for readers. What are your thoughts on the concerning discoveries that have emerged? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Remember to subscribe and like this video below for further updates on this important subject, so you never to stay up to date on all the latest happenings. Click the notification bell. We appreciate you watching, and we hope to see you again soon with even more incredible